Isn't this business exciting? I am in a symbol called AMSC, and I am going to show you a gap down situation and the signal for the gap down is zip pink. Turning over to the charts, I have here on the charts right now three different layouts. The right layout over here is the daily chart. This is the way it comes out of if you load a chart, this is the way it comes out, with the candles on top, the price chart, the trend chart, the zip chart, the power chart, and the swing chart. The other two charts on the left are expanded examples. All three charts are daily charts. The middle chart has the zip chart, the power chart, and the swing chart. And the left chart has the price chart and the trend chart. And I do this for video clarity because sometimes it's hard to see things on the video. But what I do recommend is that you go go to the symbol on your own in the system and watch your own system as I'm explaining things on the video. I personally have 6 monitors. I'm not sure how many monitors you have, but if you have the opportunity to expand on your system, do so, and speed is of the essence. Now, the date here is on the gap down is April 27th, 2017. And on the 26th, which was the day of our gap, there are a lot of things that can be pointed out. I'm going to, you can't see this, but I want to go to a point tracker. And right now I'm putting a line on there, but the line's showing up on all three charts so that you can see kind of what I'm talking about. In this example, well, let me start over here on the price chart. For the price chart right now, if you look on your data window, this is not visible to you right now, but if you look on your data window, you can see that price green is at 145 and price red is at 135.9. And if you're knowledgeable about the area, the peak areas, like for example, price red and green, I've only seen a handful of times when price green has been above 150. It almost always caps out in the 140s, and it'll cap out in the 130s and turn around as well. Green is typically up above when the value of the stock goes down, especially when you have a large separation like you do in this example, where blue is way down and like literally almost 100 points down. Blue is at 55, so it's 90 points below. This by itself, just because it's up here, does not give you a guarantee that the next day it's going to go down. But it is a contributing factor that tells you you're at the maximum for this. You can look at the candle chart here and see we've got a set of gray bands. And those gray bands are channel bands that we designed. And you can see that the close of the last, the open of this day, where the lines are, the day before the gap down, that opened up above the gray bands. And both of these days, the close was hit the yellow bands. The yellow and the pink and the blue bands are a Bollinger Band type that we have put into the system as well. Now, that in itself, the price green being at 145 doesn't mean that it might not be at 147 tomorrow. That possibility does exist. But when you go down to the trend chart right down here, you see that there's no indication in any of the lines except the trend gray line. Trend gray has a low angle up line, which is indicative of a downturn. Next day down. So we have one minor signal right now that tells us that trend red is going down. You have another signal over on the power red chart. Power red is in a TOC pattern, and that pattern tells us that that's the turnaround of a top of cycle peak. We also have ZIP Zion highest, but that's not significant other than it is in a range that is typically it goes down. If you're not familiar with power red has a bottom at 6. Power red never goes below 6, and it will go up higher, but the bottom is never below 6. So that's another area to keep another piece of information to always be aware of. Now, I'm going to turn the tracker off and just kind of address the particular signal that we have. I'm going to expand on the ZIP chart and so that you can see what is happening in here. And if you notice right now, the ZIP pink has been traveling up, and in fact it was highest back here 3-4 days before the peak, but then it went under the other lines. And if you've heard me talk about pink green tops, because that's what this is a pink green top, you've heard me say that if the pink line disappears, the price is likely to continue, especially as the other lines go up. When the pink ZIP pink becomes next to the ZIP green, that's a signal. When it has been buried the last day or two, that's a signal that the next day it's going to go down. It's a very high signal when that happens. Now that is not necessarily true when the pink is high and then it's high, and then it always remains against the ZIP green for 3, 4, 5 days. That's not a signal. There's a different type of signal when that goes down. But when the pink pops out from under the other lines and is highest, that's the signal that it is going to go down. And there's multiple reasons for that. You have the ZIP blue, yellow, red, and gray all in a TOC pattern. In other words, they're going down. They're telling you that they're going down. In this now the other thing too is you need to think about the pink green pattern is a pattern that we trade a lot. There's a lot of power in the pink green peak. In the pink green peak or the pink green bottom patterns. Remember, the ZIP pink is your price barometer. It follows price all the time. If the price is up, ZIP pink goes down. Now, ZIP green is a indicator that tells us about the buyers entering and the buyers leaving the market. When ZIP green is at 100, there are a lot of people entering the market. When ZIP green is at 0, there are a lot of people leaving the market. ZIP Zion is I'll say he's a granddaddy of the ZIP green. It takes more power to move the Zip Zion, but Zip Zion is also a buyer tracker of those buyers going in and out of the market. And so when Zip Green and Zip Zion are at 100, there are a huge number of people coming into the market. And obviously, when they're both at 0, there's a huge number of people leaving the market. Now, think of the relationship that you have between a price barometer and a indicator that tells you that there are huge numbers of people entering the market. The basic rule behind the trigger that causes the pink green top to go down is that Zip pink is going up and next to Zip Green. No other lines can be in between it, with the exception of a Zip Zion. Both of those, again, tracking buyers in and out of the market. But that very seldom happens. And so when the Zip pink is under other lines, and all those other lines are going down, there's 4 lines going down, but the price goes up. Those 4. Remember, the Zip chart are the fast lines. Zip red is a leading indicator, and if you haven't guessed it, in this case, excuse me, and in thousands of other cases, Zip blue, yellow, gray, and red are all leading indicators. Those 4 have gone down. Right now, Zip pink comes up and tells you that that's the signal. You've got if you go over here, you've got another pink green top. Zip pink is at 93. Now here, I'll get Zip yellow is at 93. Let me show you. Let me identify this. Zip yellow is at 93.94. Zip pink is at 93.81. Okay, now Zip yellow is actually just a hair higher than the pink, and the pink is going up. And because the other 4 are going down, even though Zip pink isn't quite exactly above, it's so minutely close to it that it tells you that signal is going down, or that price is going to go down. And obviously, when you look at that particular situation, you can see in the candles that the next 3 days go down. And so there's just a lot of power in the information that we have here. The other thing I want to point out too is that let me expand on this a little bit and show you that in this example right here, the next 1, 2, 3, 4 days go down. Zip green is at 100, and what? And the other 4 lines are going down. Zip pink is at 95.66. Zip yellow is at 95.8. Excuse me, 95.08. And Zip gray and red are at 95.95 and 95.59, with Zip pink at 95.66. Zip gray is and just barely by a couple thousandths, or hundredths of a point. Zip pink is 95.66. Zip gray is 95.95. The only Zip gray is a little bit above the Zip pink. Also, if you're aware of the pinpoint alerts, or the pinpoint signals, I'll call them, when Zip red is in a either a peak or a spike, and zip gray is under a spike or over a peak, next day it typically goes down. So on this right here, we have the first day that the zip green is at 100. We're also at a peak. We know that because the candles are above the gray band lines and they're almost touching the yellow band lines. So there's not much more capability of them going that much higher next day. And all the signals tell us that it's going down. I'm going to turn the tracker back on so that we have a little bit more understanding. Again, right here on this example, this is your pinpoint zip green top. All your other 4 lines have gone down. Look at your power red down here. Power red is at 3.66. And yesterday it was at 3.71, so the power red is going down a little bit on this point. So that power red is a low angle down, and that's more powerful than a low angle up, typically, telling you that next day the price is going to go down. Same thing in the swing chart. We have a low angle up in the swing Zion and a low angle down in the swing pink. Swing pink and swing red are probably the 2 fastest moving lines in the system. Swing Zion is I said that wrong. Yes. Swing Zion is a price barometer. Swing pink is a price barometer. The 3 price lines, green, red, and blue, are all price barometers. There's 5 price barometers in the system. Become familiar with what your lines do. There's a definition in your documents file. There's a definitions. You can look up. We've described many of how these things work in what they are representing, and that power of knowing what's happening, like like I talked about with the buyers in and out of the market with Zip Green and Zip Zion, and of course the 5 price barometers, and obviously leading indicators. Does your system have this type of stuff? I mean, think about what you're dealing with right now in the system that you use. I mean, we can see gaps. We can identify with them. I mean, obviously here on April, the day before this, the day that we obviously should have shorted this was April 26, 2017. That's where the lines are right now. On that day, the information that we have tells us that this symbol is going down. We don't know how much it's going to go down. I mean, until you've been reading these things a while, after a while you become familiar with, you can just see with all of the added information that the thing is going to gap. Maybe it gaps a little, maybe it gaps big, maybe it doesn't gap at all. But we still know that it's going to go down. We know the direction. We don't. The accuracy of the indicators doesn't fool us in direction. You can get mixed indicators. One indicator, like for example, one symbol or one shape of an uptrend is a right leg W higher. You might get 9 of those. You might have another signal that's a bottlenose. That's I'll just use the bottlenose up, which is a reversal pattern telling you that it's going to go down, or a red peak. that is a reversal pattern that's going to go down. If you had 3 red peaks and 6 right leg W's, my answer to that, I mean, obviously it's a mixed. Most people wouldn't trade that. But what likely is going to happen there is you are going to have a gap up red candle. There's more power, there's more indicators that are telling you it's going to gap up because there's 6 or 9 right leg W higher patterns. And there's only 3 lower patterns. The vast majority of the time you will get, 9 right leg W's, and you will get 2 or 3 bottlenose down, saying that's a bottlenose down as a reversal pattern for going up. So you'll get 2 different patterns. One has 9, one has 3, and they tell you that both those indicators tell you it's going to go up. Again, there are over 20 indicators that look in the patterns types up and the pattern types down in the definitions. Those are described and explained. There's just a lot of information textually given that support the system. Do your research and look it up. Print out information that you need so that you have it handy to look at, so that you get familiar with which indicators represent what values. Now, it's exciting to have a system like this. It's just amazing what you can see with these indicators. The types, the type of things that you can do with sensitive indicators. And again, I'll tell you that the sensitive indicators are the heart of the whole system. You can talk about the 3-step formula or the powers of the system, like the indicator power and the formula power that uses the patterns with good conditions to recognize the high probability trades and then identifies signals telling you when the trade is going to move. And you can talk about the procedures power, the analysis. If you had 3 pink-green tops and they were possible choices for tomorrow, and you analyzed them to see which one has more indicators telling you that it's going to react in the way that it should, like a pink-green top goes down, a pink-green bottom goes up. Those 2 are reversal patterns. The vast majority of our signals are reversal patterns. The system that we have is absolutely amazing. It's just like here, let me point out one more thing before I end this video. The line right here, right now, is on a Zip Zion lowest. And in fact, if you go over here and back it up one more, you can see that Zip Zion is again lowest. The Zip Zion would tell you that when it's lowest, that things are going to go up. And why is that? Is because Zip Zion is a slower moving line. It takes a huge amount of power to get things to move up. When that thing disappears, then it's time to go. Then it's time to get out. And same is true over here. Here is a Zip Zion that has just peaked out, and there's 3 more green candles after that in that day that the thing is going up. Your power red is above 0. It's telling you that prices are likely to go up, because when red is a position indicator, when it's above 0, prices tend to move up. When it's below 0, prices tend to move down. It's just amazing what you can see with these indicators. This is a system that we are literally excited about. This is just one little example of how we can spot gaps down, how we can see things, identify them with the signal, and that's just exciting. I hope you're having having fun trading. We enjoy it just tremendously. Become familiar with the system. Just listen to some more videos, and we will see you on the next video.